So Digital Foundry did their usual technical preview, technical breakdown of the Halo Infinite beta, the multiplayer beta, and things are looking very, very good. They tested across multiple generations of consoles, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series S, the Xbox Series X, and PC. Just going to go through some of the things that they pointed out and talk about them, because I was worried about Halo. People were worried about whether or not older hardware would hold it back. They addressed that in this. Some of the things they looked at are very interesting. So the first thing they talk about here is resolution. So they say, looking at Xbox Series consoles first, Series X targets 4K resolution in 60 Hz mode using image reconstruction techniques and dynamic resolution scaling to get there. It's almost as if there's a continuous horizontal scale in effect, but it will kick in vertical scaling too in order to maintain frame rate. With Xbox Series S, it uses the same technique but targets 1080p rendering instead. They say both versions run very smoothly with only minor deviations from the 60 frames per second target performance level. So again, multiplayer wise, you're getting upscaled 4K reconstructed on the Xbox Series X, 60 frames per second. You're also getting 1440p from 1080p on the Xbox Series S with 60 frames per second. So in multiplayer mode, that's pretty good. And things may improve as the game releases. Now, when it comes to the Xbox One S, they talk about the fact that people were worried about this system holding back the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. And what they talk about here bodes well for those two consoles. They say that the dynamic resolution on the Xbox One S drops to as low as 540p, environmental detail is pared back, ground tessellation is reduced or removed, screen space reflections are gone, and some shadow maps are absent too. That said, there is perhaps a case that a diminished Xbox One version is a good thing. Now, what they're suggesting here is the fact that they're not putting the work in to really push the Xbox One S version. It's just a basic bare bones version, extremely bare bones version of Halo Infinite, and that may suggest that they're pushing the more capable Xbox hardware further, being less encumbered by the need to accommodate the lowest end console. Now, you're also going to get 120 frames per second on the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, but you're talking about a huge decrease in resolution, a huge decrease in some graphical effects as well on both systems. I'll link the article, you can read that, but if you want that frame rate, you're gonna get it. They have a really cool comparison tool here, and I really like the idea of opening it up. So let's look at the Xbox Series X, then we'll look at the Xbox Series S, and the first thing that I notice is just a slight drop in clarity and a little bit of blurriness, and that's to be expected with the resolution drop here. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. But again, in motion, you're not going to notice this. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, the trees in the background take a hit to resolution, and some of the objects, especially the gun. Look at the gun right here. Xbox Series S, less detail, but again, $299. The real big difference here is going from the Xbox Series consoles to the Xbox One S. So this is the Xbox X S, and this is Xbox One S. Look at the difference. No shadow maps, no textures on anything. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox One S. Big difference. You're in Ouchville with the Xbox One S playing this game. But again, they're not pushing the Xbox One S. It's sort of an afterthought to them. That could be seen as a good thing, especially if you're in a new generation with an Xbox Series console. So let's take a look at one more screenshot. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X and Series S. Not too big of a difference, again, resolution, but look at the Xbox One S, and that difference is absolutely incredible. So you are in Ouchville with an Xbox One S, but that does bode well for the next generation consoles. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.